Good morning, I'm at a bus stop in Glastonbury. Find out why after this. Today's video is sponsored by Heart of the Tribe Gallery, where art meets community. More about that later. Well, here's the reason. A brand new bus service which now allows you to go out to visit the Avalon Marshes. Now that's exciting, that's really exciting because they do a lot of good stuff out here. There's a lot to see and you can now go by bus. And here comes the 668. Yay, we're going to get on this now. So we are on the sadly empty bus, but then it is just gone 9 o'clock in the morning here in Glastonbury and nobody really gets up and does anything before 10 o'clock. I suspect the next bus will be busier. I've got to say they're great little buses that they operate. This is also a similar bus to the one that goes to Shepton Mallet, which again is a route sadly neglected by the big bus companies. I don't know why, but it is. Anyway, here we go, and we're off. One of the downsides of the levels here is the roads are mostly floated across them, and that means that it's not the best of surfaces, as you can hear in the background, I'm sure. In a moment we'll be taking a left-hand turn on the road which goes down to the Avalon Marshes Centre, and it is the marks where the new route is going. And here comes that turning now. Along the side of the field that's full of water, that's the water level. As you can see, we're not far above it. Some building good workings there. Peat was traditionally mined, excavated, I don't know what you would call it. I'm sure we're going to learn more about this from the wonderful Natalie, who we are going to hopefully find waiting for us at the bus stop when we get in here. And here we are, pulling into the Avalon Marshes Centre now. Well, I made it here. The bus is a lovely journey out. As I said, as soon as you leave Glastonbury, you're in the marshes and you can see the terrain change dramatically. And here, where we are now, I'm with the wonderful Natalie, who's basically the boss, who's going to show us around, tell us what the Avalon Marshes Centre is all about, tell us what goes on here, and persuade you that it's going to be a really good idea to hop on that 668 from Glastonbury and come out here, away from all the crowds, and see the terrain, the locality, what used to go on here, and have some amazing cake. Look, arrivals. Let's move on. Natalie, tell me, what have we got here? Because we've got buildings all around us here, and we have a cafe, we have an art gallery, we have archaeology going on. What have we got here?
Okay, well, as people get off the bus, just at the entrance here, the first thing they'll see is the big picnic area that we've got. So loads of benches, wildlife pond, places that people can bring their own food and sit and have lunch. We also have the cafe over here. That's run by a local family, so they open 7 days a week essentially.
And they do cakes.
They do fantastic cakes. I'm absolutely addicted to their zillionaire slice. I have to limit myself to 2 a week, otherwise.
Oh dear.
So fantastic cafe there. Lots of indoor and outdoor seating for people, depending on what the weather's like when they arrive. We've also got the craft gallery here. That's run by Somerset Crafts. So that's a collective of about 20 local artists, and they've all got stalls with different sort of particularly wildlife and landscape themed art, and that's all inspired by the Avalon Marshes. We've also got Avalon Archaeology, which, as you said, is a sort of outdoor open-air museum full of reconstructed buildings that volunteers have created from Somerset's past. So it goes right back from the Iron Age through the Roman period, the Saxons and the Vikings. So loads of different things to see there as well. And then we've actually got the entrance to Shapwick Heath and the nature reserves as well. So then we've got walks that go off, take you onto the into the landscape, so you can have a long or a short walk.
Long or a short walk.
If you want a really long walk, you can go walk all the way from Shapwick Heath to Ham Wall here, and you can actually walk then all the way back to Glastonbury if you want to.
Yes.
But obviously the bus is a little bit of an easier option.
I used to cycle here. I still do cycle, and this was one of my stop-offs, the cafe here.
Yeah.
But I haven't cycled for a while, sadly, ladies and gentlemen. Nag me, I need to get cycling again this week. Well, let's go and have a look round then, shall we?
Yeah, let's have a look.
So we're going to go and have a look around the various parts. Now, before this was shot, we had some cake and coffee from the cafe over there. It was brilliant. It was lovely. Come here. If you're not interested in the wetlands, if you don't give a monkeys about archaeology, come here and sample the coffee and cake. Perfect. So we're going to go off and we're going to start with the cafe and work our way around. But before we do, we've also got some meeting rooms here, haven't we?
Yes, yeah. So we've got 2 meeting rooms here that people can hire out for different things. I think today we've got some training for some of the wildlife volunteers here, but we've got all sorts. So this week we've got Pilates on, we've got an art workshop doing willow weaving on.
Wow.
All sorts of different things there. So people can come and enjoy it for workshops or hire it themselves.
And of course now with the bus in place, people from Glastonbury could come and take part in these workshops or even have their own.
Yes, yeah, definitely. So the ways that bus timetables work, you can come and spend the whole morning here. So you can come, do the session, and then head on the bus home as well.
Well, there's a thought, isn't it? There's a thought. Right, let's go and have a look at the cafe.
Yes.
Do you notice I said the word cafe, not cafe, because I'm posh on this channel. we like to educate people, do you know what I mean? The cafe. And here is the cafe. Now this has had a bit of a history, hasn't it? It's moved around and...
Yeah, so been in this building since 2023 when we sort of redeveloped the site.
Yes.
Before that it was in shipping containers down at that end.
Okay.
So it's definitely grown up in the last sort of couple of years.
And it's got a seating area.
Yeah, it's got really great seating. So we've got the covered seating here, so if it's a little bit of a grey day you can sit under cover. We've got all of the picnic benches out there as well that people can sit in.
It's glorious, isn't it?
Yeah, we've picked the perfect day to have a look around as well, so you can sort of see. But people don't have to use the cafe; they can bring their own picnics as well and use the area. So it's sort of.
And if we just stop for a minute. I don't know if you can, the camera's picking that up, but you just a constant songs of birds in the background.
Yeah, it's a beautiful background. I've got a great app on my phone called Merlin, which listens to bird song and it'll tell you what birds they are that are singing.
I need that app.
Oh, I'll show you in a second.
Please,
it's really
I want
good.
that
So
app.
I quite often at my lunch break will come and sit out here and see how many different birds.
The one I'm waiting for is you point it at a tree and it will tell you what it is.
Oh, that would be useful.
I haven't got a clue with trees. I'm useless. Oh, look at that lovely tree over there.
Yeah.
So where next?
Where next? So we can have a look in the craft gallery.
Let's do that. Now the craft gallery is over here. Now this has been here forever, hasn't it?
Yes, this is probably one of the oldest bits of the site, actually.
I think it is.
So it's been here. Well, I actually don't know how long it's been here, but it's basically, as I said earlier, 20 different artists. They've all got different stands here, so there's a whole different range of things. So we've got paintings, photography, we've got copper etching, stone carving, lots of jewellery, pottery, wood turning. They're all different types of crafts that local people are creating, and all of them are sort of based on the Avalon Marshes or sort of nature and wildlife as well. So it's a really nice sort of place that people can come and pick up a great gift for people.
Is there another cafe in here, or is this extra seating for the cafe?
This is extra seating for the cafe.
Wow, so you can even come in here.
So you can come inside, so if it is really raining, you can
It's
come
really
in.
nasty.
Really nasty, you can come
Really
in here.
nasty.
And you can book it as well, book tables. So we get breakfast clubs or sort of walking groups will come and hire it.
I'll just look at this map up here. So
you'll come from Glastonbury, you'll go through Mere, it will divert to us at the Avalon Marshes Centre, then back up to Westay, and then it's Mudgley, Wedmore, Coxley, Cheddar, and it terminates at Shipham.
if you do want to walk, I can recommend the cycle track from Glastonbury that comes out, and it actually follows the line of the old Somerset and Dorset railway across here. There was a station here, there was a station here, and it continues out and doesn't go any further than that, sadly. But you can walk here along that track, and it's a great walk. It's a great walk.
It's fantastic, and it's very, obviously, because we're on the levels, it's very flat.
Yes.
So actually it's an easier walk for people, and there's good cycle trail along there as well, so you can cycle all the way.
As a cyclist, we like flat hills.
Yeah.
We like flat hills. Wow, look at that. That's felted.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
And Liberty, who actually runs this stall, is doing, I think, about 4 or 5 different felting workshops this year. So if people want to come and try, I don't think she's doing the otter, but she's doing blue tips, squirrels, Highland cows, pelicans, that sort of thing.
So as you can see, peeps, there's lots to come in here and see. All made locally. Now that really does sum up the levels on a wet winter's day, doesn't it?
Doesn't it?
I've seen that virtual view there many times.
And these ones are actually made, I think, using reed. So they've cut reed off the levels and actually use that to do the
paint.
ink watercolours.
Because it's kind of got that scratchy look to it,
Yeah.
hasn't it? It's very clever.
So I think Judith, the artist that does these, actually does workshops here as well, so people can learn how to have a go at doing this sort of art.
And this is all run by Somerset Crafts.
Yes, Somerset Crafts.
That's good. Nice woodwork. Look at the grain on that.
Yeah, these are made by George. He is an amazing wood turner, wood carver.
I can really strongly recommend a visit here. Definitely. This is well worth a look around. And of course, if it's raining, you can sit here. Why not book some tables, get a group, come out, have breakfast? Why not? So here we are, we've come to the Archaeological Centre, and there is a price to get in, but here's the clever bit. Over to you, Natalie.
Yeah, so people who are coming on the bus, what we're offering is the price of your bus ticket off the price of a guided tour, basically. So those run throughout the week. You can book them through the Southwest Heritage Trust, who run the site. So if you want to come on the bus, you almost makes a free guided tour of the site, which I would thoroughly recommend. It is a fantastic site to have a look around.
So what I think I'm going to do at the end of this tour is I'm going to get Natalie to put me in touch with the people here, and we'll come in on a Sunday and we'll have a look around, because this is well worth a visit. Because all these buildings are completely pertinent to the area we're in, aren't they?
Yes, they're all reconstructions of local buildings.
Lead on, Macduff.
All right. Well, we'll do it in. Should we do it in chronological order?
Let's
So we'll
start at the Iron Age.
Start in the Iron Age. So, what we've got here is a half-constructed roundhouse.
Okay.
It's from the Iron Age. It's based at one that was found at Glastonbury Lake Village. So basically just about a mile outside of Glastonbury, there was an Iron Age settlement. They built it on a sort of raised bit of land that they created themselves by importing lots of clay from the Mendips. And essentially they created a small village of these sort of roundhouses. constructed out of hazel and alder and local reed for the roofs. And there was about sort of 20 houses at any one time. So a relatively big settlement for the area.
It's interesting because this is Iron Age, and we're basically looking at a thatched roof from wattle and daubing, aren't
Yes,
we?
yeah.
Which lasted till the 1600s.
Yeah,
It was a very long-term building technique that they developed very early, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's really good because it's all natural materials, obviously.
Of course it
so
is.
it has a great sort of carbon footprint for it as well.
Absolutely. And of course they had lots of cattle, because lots of cattle had an input as well, didn't they?
Yes, yeah, the door was. So you can see they're still in the process of constructing it at the moment. So the wattle and daub walls are in place. They're starting to do the daubing now. So on Sundays, I think they've got buckets of mud here. So if you want to have a go at daubing it, you can come and have a go. And starting to do the thatching as well.
Because they shave this down, don't they?
Yeah, so at the moment it looks a bit like a strange haircut, but it is all going to be sort of smoothed out eventually.
I've got to ask, obviously this is built on archaeological evidence. The archaeological evidence is going to give you some of the materials used. You'll find that in the various layers. You'll be able to see the holes where the shape of the thing is laid out. How are you going to tell what this was? How do you know that's thatched? How do you know how it was thatched?
Yeah, it's actually impossible because there are no surviving.
There are no survivors. So this is an interpretation.
It is, yeah. And all roundhouse reconstructions you see are pretty much interpretations from the ground up, because usually all you get is the post holes. And that'll give you an idea of the size and the shape and the timbers that we used, but nothing above that. You do sometimes get a ditch that runs around the outside like a donut, and that pretty much shows you where the roof was overhanging and dripping, and the drip caused a little channel to it. So from that you can sort of tell how far out the roof was, and different experiments have shown the angle that you need, because if you make it too steep it'll fall down, or if you make it too shallow it'll sort of flop out inwards.
Absolutely.
So a lot of trial and error essentially. But for example, we don't even know if they had windows in these.
No.
They were completely closed off. We don't know very much about how they were decorated. But the lake village, the Glastonbury Lake Village, is one of the only places in the country that we have the walls surviving, because it was in peat. So
absolutely, it's anaerobic, isn't it?
Yeah. So from the Glastonbury one, we know that the posts that were used for it were much, much thinner than ones used everywhere else in the country.
Because again, they didn't have the big trees around here, so they had to use what they had.
And lighter as well, because we're on peat. And
you don't want it to sink.
You don't want to sink.
No.
So it's a very sort of Glastonbury style, basically, of building these. So yeah, this is our attempt at reconstructing it based on one of the ones that was found at Glastonbury.
So what was Glastonbury Lake Village built upon?
So they started off with sort of a Russian reed bed that they mixed with clay, essentially, that they were bringing down from the Mendips by canoe. And
kind of a horizontal version of what's going on here, almost. Yeah,
basically. So it was sort of almost like a wattle work floors that they then sort of covered with clay to make a stable surface. So essentially they created their own island. And the main transport was, they had jetties all the way around it, essentially.
And little dugouts.
Yeah, and dugout canoes that they were using. So the waterways were much more the way that people were travelling around, rather than by any paths and things like that.
And how long was the village there for?
It was only about 100 years. So it's, in the grand scheme of things, quite a short amount of time.
Flash in the pan, isn't it?
Yeah, but we think it's probably because rising water levels, basically, it sort of made the land a bit too untenable for them.
And at that point, they moved to the adjacent island.
Yes, yeah. So
the rest is history, as they say.
Yeah, we're just lucky that we found the remains of this one, basically. But
absolutely.
there were probably many more in the area as well. There was one at Mere, the Mere Lake Village,
that's right,
as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, actually, if we point out that little tin shed over there, that is the excavation hut that was used by the Victorian and Edwardian archaeologists who discovered the lake village.
Wow!
So, it was an amazing guy called Arthur Bulleid.
Arthur Bulleid, yeah.
Yeah, Glastonbury resident. He was the resident doctor in Glastonbury, but he was very interested in archaeology. He went to a lecture about the Swiss lake villages, and in that they basically talked about these island lake villages, and he thought, well, that landscape's very similar to what we've got. I'm sure we've got lake villages too. So he actually went looking for it, and it took him quite a long time, but he did actually find it, and that was the sort of hut they put on the side
That's amazing.
To use as the sort of for the excavation.
That's amazing. You can imagine him stood outside in his +4s.
Yeah,
almost,
we've got a great photo actually of the group with all their tools in front of it. And things. But nowadays we've turned it into, so one side of it is a little cinema. It's showing little videos about the Lake Village and different things.
Yeah.
And the other side is basically a reconstruction of how it looked when they found it. Because essentially, when the excavations finished by the 60s, they just left it in the field. And then in the 80s, somebody went, "What's in that shed?" and opened it up, and there was all the stuff from the excavation was still in there. Wow. So a lot of the tools and bits of pottery and things they found. So it's a really nice little slice of history, because you don't usually get things like that preserved.
So Iron Age, Roman.
Yeah, onto the Romans.
Onto the Romans.
So this is a reconstruction of basically several different Roman dining rooms from different villas in this area.
Yes.
So it's basically one room of a Roman villa.
Yes.
But they specifically chose this one because they wanted to put the hypercourse.
Hypercourse, the underfloor heating.
The underfloor heating.
Yes.
So the Romans' fantastic central heating system.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant.
So this building is basically a stone foundation, and then the rest of it is cob wall, basically. So this is what it looks like when it doesn't have the plaster on top.
Yes.
And this is a building technique that's still used. Still used today, actually.
Yeah. And you've got your own labyrinth.
Yeah, we've got our own bit of Roman graffiti on there as well.
Just like London Transport.
Yeah.
And these tiles, did you reproduce these tiles? Or?
Yeah, so these are based on a couple that were found in different villas, I think in Wales actually. But they are sort of a double dolphin, and this one is like a Medusa head.
Yes, and each one of these has one on.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate the sun's in the wrong position. We're not going to get a good shot of this today. Maybe on the other side you'll see it clearly.
On the other side. So yeah, this is just showing you the different roofing techniques. So this is what the Romans were using.
Yes.
These sort of terracotta tiles. You can still see these today. Same design, basically.
Absolutely. Especially in Italy.
Yes.
Big in Italy.
Yeah, you see all those red roof towns.
And this would have been...
So this is another Roman one. So the porch of our Roman villa has got this on, and this is local stone, basically.
Okay.
But incredibly heavy compared to the...
And these wonderful wooden ones. I love these.
Yeah. So these are the ones for the Saxon Long Hall.
Yeah.
So these are a little bit later, actually, in date, but they're made out of split oak, essentially.
Okay. And pegged.
And pegged in place. So yeah, very different sort of roofing technique.
And I like the way, because they're handmade, each tile is
it's
a little bit different. I like that. I do like that.
I know the volunteers that had to make them did say that it was back-breaking work, because oak is so hard as a material to work with. So and you need a lot of it to
and it is weathering nicely out here, isn't it?
Yes, yeah.
It's definitely that's in good condition, that wood.
It'll last a while. They reckon a roof like that was maybe up for 10, 15, 20 years.
Really?
So a good one if you can. So yeah, if you go inside the Roman villa, which you can't do today, but they have created a complete mosaic floor inside.
Oh, have they?
I think there's 140,000 little stone tiles in there.
So moving on from the Roman period, we come to the Saxon period. And we have a Saxon long hall here. Now this is lovely. It's starting to remind me of the tithe barns that you see later. You've got that same long design with a central door. I'm thinking the Rural Life Museum in Glastonbury.
Yeah.
Very similar. So what can you tell us about this?
So this is actually based on a Saxon palace that was discovered at Cheddar, beneath the playing fields of the school there.
Okay.
And from that, like with the roundhouse, all we really get is the post holes of how it was constructed. So a lot of the upward design is based on artwork from the period and other reconstructions. But essentially what we've got is a wooden timber frame building, massive oak frame for it. It's then got in between the yellow bits you can see, that's wattle and daub, just like on our Iron Age roundhouse. And then we've got this wooden shingle roof made from split oak planks on the top. And then that little box you can see at the top is just to let the smoke out, essentially, because there is a big
fire pit.
Central hearth, essentially, that everyone would sit around. So in this one, it's a raised hearth off the ground. And basically, this would have been a very well-to-do person's house. This isn't your average.
No. But it is. This isn't Aldi man, is it? It's more Waitrose man.
Yes, yeah. This is sort of a local dignitary, I would say, probably lived in these. It's a smaller one than other ones that have been found. There are some really enormous ones of these. So this is sort of a modest Saxon building. But yeah, the sort of date for this one is sort of the 800s, essentially.
I love the door. It makes me think of Lord of the Rings. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And inside, we can't see it today, but inside it is full of replica furniture as well. So they've basically scoured every museum collection and reproduced chairs, tables, artwork.
Which is something they want to do for all of the 3 buildings they have here, isn't it?
Yeah. So I think the Roman building is getting its couches, reclining couches in there, so you can sit in there. They've got a beautiful table they've already made. The Iron Age building is even more tricky because we really don't have anything surviving from that period, not even from the peat. So, so making our best guess at what they would have used. Yeah. But everyone all through history wanted to be comfortable and warm.
Of course they did.
So we can take some ideas from that.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be very cheeky and I'm going to stick my camera where I shouldn't. So, ladies and gentlemen, we can't go in, but the camera can. So here we are inside, and look, they've got stained glass windows at one end. Isn't that beautiful? And as we pan round, we can clearly see the construction of the building. Wow, we're definitely coming back to see all this. So here we are by Walrus. What can you tell us about this? This amazing reconstruction you've got here.
Yeah, so this is an exact replica of a boat that was found in Norway, sunk into a fjord. So it had been preserved in the cold mud there. Yeah. And it's a Viking trading ship. Whoa. So this is basically the same age as the Saxon long haul. We've got Alfred the Great sort of period of the Saxon long haul. This is what the Vikings were using. It's very different to warships. The warships you see that are really long and they've got all the oars and everything in them with loads of people on board. These were basically sort of like the white van equivalent of the time. They were used for transporting a large amount of cargo. I'm
just trying to imagine a Viking transit man. White van man as a transit
man, this is it. And there's probably only like 6 to 8 of them on board, basically. But they did routes from Norway across the North Sea and around the coast of Britain. A very shallow draft, so they could actually get inland really quite a distance.
I was going to say, this wouldn't take much to overwash this at sea, would it?
No, it's the floor that's in here is a false floor, basically. So the original, it was just open to the bottom. Yeah, it's been made to make a bit easier for people.
But I mean, if this is showing its level in the water.
Yeah. So this is how it would sit in the water, basically.
Very low.
Really,
very low.
Absolutely terrifying.
I would imagine.
If you were crossing that North Sea in a bad weather, just in this.
I mean, in Europe, I mean, people don't realise, they think the Vikings came over here, but they were over in Russia.
Oh, yeah,
they got to Russia via inland waterways, and so I guess in an inland waterway environment, this is perfect. It's almost like a modern day barge, isn't it, really? Just shaped differently. Has the characteristics of a canal boat almost.
Exactly, yeah.
Which I can tell you from experience, you do not want to take out on a swell.
No.
Especially if, like me, you're not a swimmer. You're not a big plane.
Yeah.
No, that's fantastic.
But yeah, we're stood at the end of it at the moment. So this is the this is how it was steered.
Yes.
Using this sort of thing, which is called a steerboard. In Old Norse.
Which is how we get starboard.
Which is where we get the word starboard.
And port is where on that side they used to dock because they didn't want to damage this.
Yeah. This is the most important bit of the boat, basically.
Most important. It tells you where you're going, or it tells the boat where it's going. So port is over there on the left, and also remember PORT, LEFT, same number of words, and starboard over here, steerboard, is from this. Yes. When was this made?
So this was actually built, it was built in Norway at the Viking Centre there, and it was built for an exhibition that happened at the Maritime Museum in Falmouth.
Oh.
Which is why it's got this flat bottom, because it was made to sit on an exhibition arena floor.
Yeah.
But when their exhibition finished, they basically offered it up. Would anybody like this boat? And I think it got down between us and a sort of I think it was somewhere else in Cornwall that wanted it as a sort of playground item.
Oh, I see.
And we sort of said, well, we can put it here and have it
in context
with it. So we were incredibly lucky, because if you can imagine, this is all made out of oak.
Oh, it costs thousands.
Yeah,
thousands
over £100,000 to make.
Now, this is again. This is looking very straight and modern day. Is this a recreation of the mast?
Yes, it is a recreation of the mast. They did have to find, as you say, incredibly straight. pieces of wood that were very tall, that didn't have knots in them and sort of branches coming off them. A bit easier to find in Norway. They've got the sort of
they've got a selection process, and they've got a good supply.
Yes, yeah. So
because a lot of what they would have been bringing over would have been wood.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, the mast goes in the centre there, stands up. It would have had an enormous woolen sail on it. So, we've actually got the sail for it. It's in the loft of the Saxon Longfall. So I think the idea is one day to actually get the mast up, rigged properly with the full mast and the full sail going, show you what it really looked like. But the kids absolutely love it, as you can imagine.
Yes.
And the adults love it, playing on it as well.
It gives you a sense of size as well. It wasn't very big, was it?
It really wasn't very big.
In a river context, inland waterway, yes, perfect. At sea, it wouldn't be my idea of fun.
No, definitely. They were certainly hardy folk, the ones that were actually using these.
Well, we've come to the end of what has been an absolutely fascinating trip. Now you can get here by bus. There is absolutely no excuse for not coming. I would come just for the cake and coffee. Ignore all these buildings, they're nothing. The cake and the coffee. But seriously, there's a lot to do. The artwork, the walks. We haven't even been out for a walk here yet. There's walks. We might come back and do a walk on its own, I think, because there's the things like the Sweet Track, which is a genuine historical article, not very far in that direction. So it's well worth coming out here. What is it? Is there more things planned for the future here?
So yeah, I think we are, it's not very glamorous, but we're expanding our car park basically. So that means that coaches and minibuses will be able to get here for the first time as well. Yeah. We've got our EV car chargers in place now. We're hoping to sort of connect up the cycle paths a bit better. So
that would be good.
So part of this project is not just the bus link, we're also looking at cycling. So we are doing a range of different events throughout the year in all of the local parishes. Particularly in partnership with On Your Bike, who are a local bike charity.
I know them.
So that is going to be sort of free bike health checks for people. So they bring their bikes along, make sure that they're safe and be shown how to actually fix them and use them. And then hopefully try and get some good maps and guides out there so people know of the different routes that they could take, either by bus, by walking or cycling. So the idea is really to sort of give people loads of different options for how to get out and enjoy nature.
I think I'll dust off my bike when that happens and take part in that. Because as I say, I used to cycle out here all the time, that cafe over there. It's changed since I was been here, but there used to be my regular halt. Anyway, listen, this has been totally wonderful. So don't forget, it's a 668. When you're catching the 668, if you're coming early in the morning, it leaves at 9:05 in the morning. And you get it from the stop opposite the town hall, as if you're going to Wells. It's a bit counterintuitive because you think you get it from the other side, but you don't. You get it as if it's going to Wells, and then it brings you out here. It's a lovely bus ride, and if you want, you can go on to Shipham and through Cheddar. You can actually get to. I didn't realise we had a bus from Glastonbury to Cheddar. I am now going to go and do a video in Cheddar. Not today, but now I know I can go out there and do it. It's fantastic. So get on the bus, come here, have food, have coffee, have a look around, and I'm sure if Natalie's around, she'll be more than pleased to talk to you.
Yes, definitely. I'd love to hear people getting the bus as well.
Absolutely.
Because basically this is a 1-year funded project, so it's up to us now to demonstrate, to prove to people that people want to get this bus, that it's useful to the local local economy.
And if you can prove that, they'll keep it.
Hopefully, yeah. That's our mission, or at least help us fund it for more years to come.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. It's the old adage, use it or lose it.
Use it or lose it.
You heard it here first. Anyway, thank you, Natalie.
Thank you.
We will be coming back, and we will be coming back to have a look at this wonderful archaeological village when we can get hold of the people and have a look around here, because there's tons and tons to see. We've literally scratched the surface. But for now, from me and from Natalie, goodbye, and see you on the next one.
Bye.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that brilliant day out we've had here, and we will be coming back. Here's an idea. I'm going to be coming back and doing the Sweet Track walk with Natalie. How about if anyone wants to come with us? We'll set something up. If you want, you come. If you want to come, you can meet us in. You can meet us in Glastonbury at the bus stop. We'll all hop on the bus, come out here, do the walk, have coffee. Do you want to come? It's up to you. You're more than welcome. It'll be a great day out. Great day out. But for now, I'm going to wait for the bus. I'm going to head back into Glastonbury. The Heart of the Tribe Gallery is a community art gallery situated near the top of Glastonbury High Street. They host amazing exhibitions supporting local artists, and they have a beautiful secret garden out the back. So be sure to check them out and support local art.
Or at least help us fund it for more years to come.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. It's the old adage, use it or lose it.
Use it or lose it.
You heard it here first. Anyway, thank you, Natalie.
Thank you.
We will be coming back, and we will be coming back to have a look at this wonderful archaeological village when we can get hold of the people and have a look around here, because there's tons and tons to see. We've literally scratched the surface. But for now, from me and from Natalie, goodbye, and see you on the next one.
Bye.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that brilliant day out we've had here, and we will be coming back. Here's an idea. I'm going to be coming back and doing the Sweet Track walk with Natalie. How about if anyone wants to come with us? We'll set something up. If you want, you come. If you want to come, you can meet us in. You can meet us in Glastonbury at the bus stop. We'll all hop on the bus, come out here, do the walk, have coffee. Do you want to come? It's up to you. You're more than welcome. It'll be a great day out. Great day out. But for now, I'm going to wait for the bus. I'm going to head back into Glastonbury. The Heart of the Tribe Gallery is a community art gallery situated near the top of Glastonbury High Street. They host amazing exhibitions supporting local artists, and they have a beautiful secret garden out the back. So be sure to check them out and support local art.